Hey folks, welcome back to the Shadow Zone with a new co-host of mine.
Yo, my name's
Lucas?
Lucas.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, we're both D&D nerds here.
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite D&D class?
I really like the supports of Cleric. I like being the party's healer.
What kind of gods do you like?
I do a lot of homebrew, actually, when it comes to this kind of stuff. We normally, whenever it comes to the talking to the DM, we kind of have this base for pantheons and gods, and then we kind of go off of whatever he'd like, or whatever he can agree with here.
Yeah, my favorite D&D class I play as is a fighter. So I am a Dragonborn mercenary / veteran of the Hobbit Wars.
Yeah.
And I have delusions and flashbacks to when the Hobbits were killing my squad, my people.
Yeah.
So I carry around Hobbit skulls in my bag and even carry a spine or two around as a back scratcher and a reach around.
Oh, that's actually kind of amazing. My first ever class action, my first time playing D&D.
Yeah.
It was with my dad when I was younger, way younger. This had to have been at least 5 years ago now. We played first edition.
Ooh.
And, of course, me being a little kid, I go for the human fighter.
Nice.
So, that's all I can probably remember. We ran some older, or like some first edition modules, and I don't remember much else about it, though.
Right. What's your favorite D&D, setting?
So, I once DM'd a thing about Castlevania. I was talking about this to you earlier.
Nice, yeah.
I thought it was a very cool idea because the Castlevania games themselves, like Aria of Sorrow, I really like those settings. I like the idea of one giant castle that can be each divided up into its own separate dungeon or...
Have you heard of Ravenloft?
Ravenloft Studios?
No, it's a D&D setting.
Oh, no, it sounds familiar, yes.
Curtis Strahd?
Yep.
Curtis Strahd? Okay, so Ravenloft, I'll give you the book if you ever want it.
Alright.
It's pretty much a dark... It's in the multiverse. D&D's a multiverse, of course. Everything is canon, in a sense. Every game everyone plays is canon of some sort.
That's cool.
I love that. That's good marketing.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a bit. Ravenloft is a campaign setting, so in a dark little shadow universe where everything is like gothic horror, undead, vampires, werewolves. There's these things called the Dark Powers, which are like these ancient Lovecraftian dark gods that take the worst and most evil creatures in the multiverse.
Yeah.
Bring to them this, I don't want to say hellish, but this bleak, gothic horror sort of setting.
Yeah.
And there's entire cities all dedicated to some dark lord who pays homage to these gods. There's a vampire from Earth called Strahd. He's based off the Count, the actual historical Count, and he rules with an Iron Fist. There's Inquisitors, there's Van Helsing elements. It's awesome. It's a mix of Lovecraft, gothic horror, and you can do anything you want with it. It's an amazing setting.
I think now that we talk about this more, wasn't there a book for Ravenloft?
Oh yeah, I have it. Yeah.
Oh, you said that.
I run a Ravenloft campaign every October.
Really? That actually sounds like a very, very cool thing to be doing around the October time.
I'd
love to join you if you'd have me.
Oh yeah, you're more than welcome to join the Nerds Round Table. I'm pulling a little PSA, join the Nerds Round Table. We have great times, great fun. Join us. We're a great channel. We're a great community. PSA aside, so what's your take on Wizards of the Coast? Do you think they make good products?
Wizards of the Coast, so the thing is, some things they have can be done very poorly, but I do like what they produce.
Yeah.
In such a sense of, I like what they did with D&D once they took it over. Yeah. I'm a huge Magic the Gathering guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know that?
Yeah. Same.
And every set that they come out with Magic the Gathering is really good, but there's a lot of printing issues, errors, things that could have obviously been sought out and seen as better.
What's your favorite era of cards?
I don't necessarily like what we're at right now.
Right.
I feel like the sets that we've had have been kind of bland as of late, just throwing a bunch of powerful guys, and that's really all there is to it. I like the Modern Horizons 2 kind of era. back in the.
I like the books.
Yeah,
I like the books.
the books are very. Or I've been meaning to read the books actually.
I read the Metal Age, and it was Church of Tull. Was about these it was about these hedge witches, these hedge mages, and their little academy, and they were being hunted down by this human religion that hated magic. It was cool because that was like my first intro into like the D&D magic multiverse, and I was enthralled by it. It was amazing.
Yeah. When you asked that question earlier, were you talking about the Magic the Gathering lore, or were you talking about the
A
cards?
little bit both.
Okay, so
I'm mostly going with the cards, then we'll segue into the.
yeah. All right, my apologies.
You're fine.
Yeah, for the cards though, I'd say early mid 2000s. When it comes to the lore though, I find that the Eldrazi and how that whole storyline, there isn't like a whole lot of lore on the Eldrazi. But I find them so very fascinating. I love them.
I think the artwork is amazing too. The artwork is amazing.
Yeah, the artwork is very good. Another thing, actually, I should say that I do like about Wizards of the Coast with Magic the Gathering is that on their cards, the flavor text does a good job helping to connect lore or explain how things go on through.
Yeah. What's your favorite color scheme? Red, blue, green, black. What's your favorite energy?
So I've always been more of a neutral kind of person. My favorite color in general, if I had to choose like one flat color, I'd like gray. I like neutral gray. It's a very
red blue for me. I know I'm a noob. I know.
Yeah, red blue.
I am a red blue. It's just simple for me.
I don't know. I like I think a red purple can go well together if it's like a maroon red and a deep purple.
Right. My favorite creature in the entire Magic game and lore is that dragon main antagonist dude, like that dragon.
Nicol Bolas.
He's awesome. He has an awesome backstory.
I love Nicol Bolas.
The dragons in general have such a cool backstory in the universe.
Yeah.
And I find the concept of the planeswalkers, these mages that travel the multiverse, and the way the magic system and the universe, the game works, is freaking amazing.
I think it's really well put together. I like
It comes from your own inner energies, all that stuff, and the alignment system in Magic I think makes more sense than D&D alignment, honestly.
Yeah.
If they made a D&D game with Magic the Gathering alignment system, it'd make so much more sense.
I feel like that could be actually a very interesting thing to see. I mean, we've obviously, since they're both owned of Wizards, we've seen crossovers with D&D getting a whole Strixhaven.
Oh yeah. Have you read the books of D&D?
Like a lot of books, I can't say I have. I've been meaning to get a lot more into the books. I just don't have the money because I'm spending my money on Magic cards.
It's better than Warhammer. That hobby will bleed you dry.
Yeah.
Unless you have a 3D printer.
I just moved up here, as you know.
Yeah.
I came from about like an hour south of here. The nerd shop that I had, it was only at the front counter, everything at the front counter was Magic the Gathering related. Right. And then there's a little side room, and in that side room, everything was Warhammer. That was the two things that...
Have you been to Gamers Library?
Here in town, no, I've been meaning to, but...
the best one in the area is Misty Mountain.
Mountain.
That's the best one in the area.
Alright, I'll keep that in mind.
They had a Star Wars Super Star Destroyer replica just hanging around there.
Oh, that sounds
for that
so
Star
cool.
Wars Fleet Battle, and I don't even want to collect it for like gaming. I just want to collect that thing for like nerdy purposes.
Dude, I remember I was going ahead and I was at Star Celebration.
Nice.
And which is the big convention. Like
I've been there a few times.
Yeah, you have? That's actually sick.
I have an Imperial Royal Guard and a Darth Revan action figures that I got from that celebration. I still keep them.
Oh, that's cool. But Fantasy Flight, which is the creators of the majority, if not, I think, all of the Star Wars board games nowadays.
Yeah.
They had their own panel, and of course I went to that. I love tabletop.
What kind of ships did you see?
So they were giving out spoilers for the upcoming stuff. The main thing, the Royal Star Destroyer, the absolutely massive one.
The Executor.
Yeah.
Vader's flagship.
Yeah, that one.
Oh god, that's beautiful. That makes me have a nerdgasm right there in the spot.
That thing is massive, dude. It's so crazy. And
I'm having a major nerd boner right now. That's awesome. That's a joke.
My favorite, but the reason why I bring this up is because I remember I was sitting at Celebration. They had a Q&A up at the end. And so the last person that had in line had a question about that game, the
Yeah.
Starfleet game, and they gave him one of those for free. And I'm like, that thing that massive thing that's about as big as my arm span, gave it to him for free. And I'm like,
I am so fucking high right now. That sounds awesome.
yeah, dude, that ship, I guarantee you, I don't know if it's on market yet or not.
It probably is. It's just really hard to come by.
Yeah, I swear, that one ship, it's probably like $250. I'm going to have to look it up after
I'll
this.
get it for Christmas or something. I just need a replica of that thing.
Dude, it's going to be...
Wouldn't that be an awesome thing to put on your kitchen table?
Dude, that would be an awesome thing to put on your kitchen table. It'd probably be bigger than the kitchen table. That thing...
That's like something building an altar around. That's like something worth building an altar around.
That would be. Dude, so with stuff like that, and with my dad being a huge, like, Star Wars collector, I know we're getting a bit off
yeah,
topic
you're
here.
fine. You're fine. It's a nerd talk. We do this all the time.
So my dad always went ahead, and he was a huge Star Wars collector,
Yeah.
and he always had a bunch of action figures, a bunch of sets.
Right.
And it's always made me want to, like, get into making like Star Wars dioramas, Star Wars dioramas and different sets. And I've always been, like, interested. I've always wanted to do it, but I don't know. I think it's just more of a motivation thing that I haven't been able to get into it, because
So
it
back
sounds like a lot of
back
work.
to Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah.
Where do you think? How do you feel about their corporate policies? Have you heard about all the controversy coming out of Magic Wizards lately?
I have not, actually. Please enlighten me.
Okay, so I don't know how I feel about this. They did remodeling of all the races and all the species.
Yeah.
They took away, like, orcs are no longer chaotic evil. Now they're just there's no longer a alignment system for, like, orcs, drow races. It's just everyone's neutral. Which, come on, there's even people who are in Wizards complaining that orcs represent Mongolians, and that, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
it feels
no,
like
I get that.
it feels like they're trying to become so woke and cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so...
That's just this is just one complaint of mine for Wizards. And once again, I am not. All I'm trying to say is, it worked for years. No one was complaining about this for years. Why is it a thing now? It's like Naomi. And don't get started on Magic tournaments. Those have been, like, total rip-offs in the past couple of years.
That I am aware of. So,
On to that.
to the thing that you were just talking about?
Yeah, the
about-
Magic tournaments.
Oh, the Magic tournaments.
Yeah.
What about them?
Have you ever been to one?
Not in person, no. I've watched competitive games, though, from the tournaments.
Do you think this is like a thriving market, Magic gathering tournaments? Do you think this is like, how do you feel about Magic tournaments? I think they're a great way to make cash, and they're great for the hobby.
Yeah, so Magic tournaments, I like the idea, obviously. I like the thought of everyone getting from stuff like either draft and seal to bringing your own.
Yeah.
I like the idea because, like you said, it can help out the community. It helps boost sales for local game stores, definitely. And it can give a nice thing for people to bond over. Like, I didn't know many people back in my own town until I started going to Friday Night Magic, and that's where I met a lot of my friends.
Right.
And I think it's a very good thing. When it comes to a
Esports.
yeah, to like an upper level competitive
Esport.
yeah, it's fun to watch. I personally, I don't want to say I don't see the point in it. Obviously, I do, but, like, I don't know. It feels like there's something that competitive Magic is fun to watch, but it's one of those things where I'd rather just play it
Yeah.
and watch other people play
It's
it.
kind of like D&D. You'd rather play D&D than watch people play D&D.
Yeah.
With some exceptions, Critical Role. So switching back to D&D, what's your favorite thing about D&D?
Wow, the fact that if the DM allows it, it can go. I'm a very big homebrew kind
Same.
of player, so I really like how the players can have the freedom. You can go ahead, be this epic triple sword-wielding badass, and then you could also roll to seduce the dragon. Everyone loves to do that.
Which is taking Critical Role.
So Critical Role, I have the person that I live with.
Yeah.
They really like Critical Role.
Yeah.
I think Matt Mercer is great. I haven't watched Critical Role in a while because, like I said, it's one of those things that I'd rather play than watch.
Yeah.
And I understand. I like Critical Role. I very much like them.
They've been huge for the industry. They've been huge for the industry.
Yeah, they've really helped boost up things for Wizards and for D&D.
Right. That's an industry I'm trying to get into, TRPGs, like live streaming your D&D games. I'm trying to get into that.
That I could see a great deal of success. For
So man, what's your take on the new Magic video game that they just made? The card game, video game that they made during the pandemic?
Oh, Magic Online?
Yeah.
So, me personally, I've always been saying this ever since Magic Online was a thing. I didn't like it all too much.
Really?
I think that during a pandemic setting, I can see why that's a thing, because obviously you don't want people...
Quarantine.
Yeah, you want people are alone, they're at home, and they still probably want to play Magic, so that was a thing. But other than that, it takes away from the whole tabletop part of tabletop gaming.
Yeah.
And a big reason why I like Magic is I like playing a card and I like seeing my opponent's reaction. Like, I like seeing their face, I like talking to them face to face.
Even the small banter at a D&D game is something you can't replace. The nerdy banter you get from a D&D game with a bunch of degenerate nerds is something you can't fucking replace.
Exactly.
You can't replace the fucking Rick and Morty humor and the jokes you hear at your average game store with this online sterile thing.
Yeah. I feel like also Magic the Gathering did Magic Online incorrectly, because if you've ever, I don't think have you ever played Magic Online?
I prefer the live version.
Yeah.
It's just, once again, it's more social. That inner banter, that sort of feng shui feeling of playing against another player.
Or rivalries.
Yeah. You know my friend Munch, the guy I hung out with? Me and him, this past summer, we would just go over to my freaking... the student center I go to, this chapel. We would play Magic the Gathering. We'd bash each other. We'd mock each other's favorite animes. We'd mock each other's waifus. And we had like Yu-Gi-Oh moments. We had freaking Yu-Gi-Oh moments.
Yeah.
And that was great. He'd kick my ass every time. But still, it was fun.
Yeah, no, that sounds actually...
And ironically, we were at a chapel and all these little kids came in. And the weird thing about Munch, he said... He actually showed these cards to these kids, and like, it was kind of like this moment, like, you were teaching, like, these little weird kids about Magic the Gathering, and it was like passing on the torch of nerd to nerd, you know what I mean?
That's how I feel like whenever I've taught people how to play Magic in the past. It's very... I don't say, like, it's a super high-level God feeling, but it's a...
You're passing on a spirit. You're passing on a spirit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you lose some of that with the Magic the Gathering online.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna say this. We got a bit sidetracked.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to distract you.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Another thing I don't like about Magic Online, it's done kind of poorly.
Oh
because the
I found the mechanics to be very wonky.
Yeah, they also have like, say for example, they have Eldrazi's. Last time I checked, they're a completely legal card in like actual tabletop.
Yeah,
it's a completely legal card in formats, but they just don't have them. They didn't add all of the cards that they neglected to add some even more popular cards in there.
Right. So I'm closing. 2 things I want to talk about.
Yep.
Back to the Wizards of the Coast thing. Do you think do you think they have a lot of potential to offer in the Magic and D&D circuit, or do you think they've kind of lost their edge?
So I think they have potential. I mean, Magic and D&D are both things that you can always vastly expand upon. It's kind of hard to... I mean, it's kind of hard to run out of content for that kind of stuff.
Because one is literally your entire imagination.
Yeah.
The entire industry runs on imagination on those things, which is infinite, yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of potential for them to max out on very good things. It just depends on how the company decides to execute them. Like,
the last thing we need is an anime Magic collection. That's the last thing we need. Magic anime.
That'd be
Magic the Gathering anime cards. That's
that'd
the
be
last thing we need.
really sick. There's Secret Lair for the Magic cards, which is like Wizards of the Coast's what they do for crossovers.
Right.
I think they're like, for example, they had one where they had a bunch of lands,
Yeah.
but they crossed it over to make it Fortnite
Right.
locations, and I think that's hilarious. They added Ryu, they added Stranger Things, The Walking Dead.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that, do you think that's cheap, or do you think it makes sense? Does it feel like they're milking it, or does it feel like it's a good crossover in your opinion?
Well, I like to think of Magic the Gathering and D&D. I don't want to say one and the same, but
Multiverse.
very similar and that kind of stuff. I like to think that it is kind of just, I mean, I get it, it seems kind of cash grabby, taking popular things and just putting it into a card game.
Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite. But there is charm to it.
Yeah.
As in, like, it's cool to say, from my hand, I'm casting Ryu and using his Hadoken on you.
Right.
And I think that's, like, something that's really cool. It's like getting your favorite anime character as a skin in a video game. And, like, it seems kind of cash grabby, but it's cool at the same time to feel.
It depends how you do it. Last thing I want to say, then we'll get to our final statement. So, when it comes to Wizards of the Coast, are there any upcoming products they're releasing you're really psyched for?
Okay, well, this is a whole thing. So they recently announced the whole, like, next year of Magic sets.
Yeah?
And I'm excited for this because there is 3 sets pertaining around Phyrexia.
Okay.
And that's just a planes that's one of the several planes, and I think that one's really cool because it's all about it's known in the lore as machine hell.
Yeah, okay.
And I really like that kind of stuff because I love seeing artifacts, I love seeing artifact creatures, I love just how Phyrexia rolls in the Magic lore.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what they can do in those sets because this is a major part of the lore as well coming up. Because it's it's March of the Machines, and then it's March of the Machines, the Aftermath.
I'd like to see, like, an anime take place in the Magic the Gathering multiverse. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, there would. Actually...
That would be awesome, would it not?
No, that would be really cool. I'd love to see that.
Last statement. I think you and me can both agree Magic has outlived all of its competitors, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, all of them.
Yeah.
Because it has a certain soul to it. It has a sort of... There's something unique about it. What do you think makes it unique compared to all the other tabletop games?
Well, besides the playstyle, I mean, Magic set themselves up perfectly. Pokemon, you can only do so much with Pokemon. You have these monsters, you fight with them, that's kind of all there is to it.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, it's in the anime, it's literally just a card game, and it's hard to expand on the lore. Magic, it is so incredibly easy to expand and to make new things, create new lore, continue an interesting story without it feeling repetitive compared to, I mean, I don't want to call anything out, but like Pokemon.
I feel that's why Magic the Gathering and D&D have succeeded. It's this world that's sparked by your own inner child, your own inner nerd, your own inner imagination. Yeah, that'll be your closing statement. You're more than welcome to join my D&D group if you want, and we can make more content like this whenever you want.
I think that'd be really cool. I'd love that.
Thanks for coming on, Luke. Appreciate it. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitch, Nerds Around Table, Wolf Gamer Pack. We're just a bunch of degenerates talk about nerd shit, play dark, fucked up D&D games, and make Hobbit jokes. Because fuck those hobbits.
Fuck hobbits.
Fuck yes, fuck hobbits.
Fuck the hobbits.
Till next time, folks. Stay sane.